everyone, and welcome to another review. Today we're going to go ahead and review the fragrance from the house of MiN, New York. The fragrance is called Momento. Now, MiN, New York is it's a house, but it's actually a store. It's a store here in New York. They release their own fragrance line. They mostly sell like indie, hard to come across fragrances and fragrances from independent, fragrance parfumers. So they actually got into the fragrance creating line, and they created this line called Scent Stories, which is what this fragrance actually comes from. Now, there's a disclaimer that I want to put ahead and form this. MiN, New York is one of my favorite stores. I know the owners personally. I would consider them friends, basically, and I want to put that out there because it may affect, or some of you may think that it affects my impartiality for it. So if you don't think I can be impartial on this one, let me know. But I really think I can be impartial, and on top of that, I really wanted to get into reviewing this line just because I started, diving into this one more and testing them based off of the fact that this fragrance was actually going to be in my top is in my top wedding list that I'm thinking of wearing, basically. So you may have heard of this or seen this already from my previous videos, alright? So let's go ahead and get right into the fragrance. The fragrance itself, it comes in two main sizes, a 15 milliliter and a 75 milliliter. The 15 milliliter is going to run you $100 even, and the 75 milliliter is going to run you $240. So this one is more on the pricey side. Again, it was released in 2014, and with that, let us get right into the notes of this fragrance. The notes of this fragrance consist of bergamot, lemon, aldehydes, tarragon, artemisia, lavender, carnation, rose, jasmine, lemon verbena, guaiac wood, opoponax, and patchouli. Alright, now this fragrance, immediately when I sprayed it and tried it in the very beginning, it gives me a nice old school feeling. Now the fragrance is called Momento, so I was kind of expecting that, but I really wasn't expecting the fact that it did it so well. It really does kind of remind me, it takes me back to the time and just starts to elicit memories that I have, whether it be older memories of when I was, like 6 or 7 years old. It really does kind of take you back. You get this aldehydic note, basically, that comes off right off of it. A little bit of citruses, but the citruses, they're not really like any citruses that I've smelled, which is why I'm really attributing the first whiff that you're going to get, or the first, top to the aldehydes, because this is kind of like a medicinal citrus, if you will. It's not sour, it's not sweet, it's more medicinal. Now, contained within it, you start to get a little bit more of the amber and the vanilla, which is coming from the opoponax, that kind of gives it, and it turns into and dries down into this ambery vanilla scent with slight hints of these florals. The florals, despite the fact there are so many in this scent, don't really come across to me. I can't really pick out the notes, and that just may be me and my nose, but I don't really pick it out. At the end of the day, I'm getting a medicinal citrus that dries down to a sweet amber vanilla type of a smell, which is very pleasant. It's very nice, and it comes across as that, but it's a little bit, because of the juxtaposition of those notes together, it kind of makes it a little bit harder to wear. So it comes across as a little bit more of an art scent, as something that you would like to smell, but not necessarily like to smell on you, which unfortunately isn't that good of a thing. One thing, I mentioned the old school vibe and the aldehydes, and the other thing that kind of gets me, it changes on my skin, so it's not too consistent. So sometimes I will get a little bit more of the citrus notes at the top, and other times I'll get a little bit less at the dry down of the vanilla-ish note, and I'll get a little bit of a, I guess you could say, it's like this, like a woody note, basically. I assume it's coming from the guaiac wood. Now, I go about 3 sprays with this fragrance. I think this is a great fragrance that you can wear for any season, whether it be fall, winter, where it's hot or cold. You can wear it pretty much at any time. As far as occasion-wise goes, I think this is a good bar scent. Wear this one to a bar or upscale scent, basically. What I'm trying to drive at is, if you're dressed up a little bit, is where this one shines. It's a good fragrance for older gentlemen, people that are older. I don't think younger people will appreciate this one a little bit as much as an older person. So keep that in mind, and that also extends off of people smelling it on you. Performance-wise, I didn't have much success with this one. This one lasted about 4 to 6 hours on my skin for performance, and although the vanilla and the vanilla H note from the Opoponax and the amber note kind of last a little bit longer on my skin, but it's really close to the skin after about the 5-hour, 6-hour mark. So the performance was a little bit disappointing, but but it still fares its own share. Now, as far as compliments goes, I did not get any compliments with this fragrance, which is a little bit of a shame. And including my fiance, she wasn't particularly a huge fan of it, although she did say she liked the smell. I kind of got the sense that she didn't really like the smell on me. So she liked it a little bit more in the air than it was on me. So that should be a thing of note. So if I'm going to go ahead and give this fragrance a rating, I give this fragrance a rating of 6 out of 10. It gets a 6 out of 10 for a couple reasons. One, I think this one's priced a little bit too high. I don't agree with the prices overall of the line. I think for that much, for a fragrance that is that expensive, I expect it to be a little bit more wearable, if you will. Two, the reason why it doesn't get a higher mark is the performance. I expect it to last a little, or have a little bit more consistent performance. It's not necessarily the length that I'm concerned of, but more the consistency. I really had trouble pinning down this fragrance in terms of what it smelled like and reminded me, just because it changed from wearing to wearing, which may be what they were trying to do, but kind of a moving target for me. That said, all of that set aside, I still actually like the fragrance. I think that it's still in the running, and I have it on my list of scents that I'm considering for my wedding day, because I feel that it's a great fragrance for that scenario. It's got a nice mature vibe to it. It smells pleasant on top of that, and it's one that I think actually really does go well when you're kind of dressed up for it. So for that reason, I wholeheartedly endorse it. But on the flip side to it, the problem with that is I just don't feel that it's a good fragrance or something that you could wear every day for that matter, or a fragrance that transcends that. All right? So if you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free, send me a message, leave me a note down below. Let me know what your thoughts are on Momento. I'm always curious. I always want to hear what you have, and look forward to more reviews where I touch upon the fragrances from this house, because I'm actually really excited. There's some really great finds, and despite the fact that this one doesn't last for a day-to-day fragrance, there are some great finds in there that do last for day-to-day fragrances and are better for those scenarios. So 6 out of 10. All right. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys. Take care of yourselves, and you guys have a great day.